To the point tayo, gusto mo ba mag-grow this year? Bakit maraming tao hindi sila nag-grow? I was reading a book by Maxwell, and I want to share some of the laws that I've learned there from that book and how I've been trying to apply it even in my own life. No? Kung ikaw yung taong nakikinig ngayon, tapos sinasabi mo, ay nako, hindi na ako nag-grow this year. I really want to grow on my area, whether it's in leadership, whether it's in pastoring, whether it's in your career or your business. This video is for you, so check this out. Now, bago po ako mag-continue, please subscribe to the channel Design Your Life, where we will try to dish out mga content that could help you grow this year. Now, balik tayo. Gusto mo ba talaga mag-grow? So, meron akong one law that I'll try to share in this video. This is going to be a very short, concise video. The first law is what we call the law of intentionality. Dapat may intention ka to grow. That's the law of intentionality. Sabi ni Maxwell, if you focus on goals, you may hit your goals, but that doesn't guarantee growth. If you focus on growth, you will grow and always hit your goals. No, so dapat hindi ka goal-oriented, growth-oriented ka. Mas growth-focused ka. Kasi yung mga goals naman, hit and miss yan eh. There will be no certainty that you'll be able to achieve your goals. Yet, if you focus on growth, especially your own personal growth and development, yan yung isang bagay na mas may control ka rather than the goals that you have. I'm saying, if you focus on growth, you would eventually hit your goals. Now, meron tinatawag na mga growth gaps. Ito yung mga reason ba't hindi nag-grow ang mga tao. Tingnan nyo kung meron kayo nito. Number one is the assumption gap. Yan yung mga ina-assume natin that I will automatically grow kahit wala akong ginagawa. These are people who time in, who clock out, but they've never learned from their experience. Hindi nila mina-maximize yung opportunity na binibigay sa kanila every day to solve problems. You see, if you go to the office every day and it's business as usual for you and you're not thinking anymore and you assume that you'll automatically grow because you're long in the field or in the industry already, myth po yan. Hindi ka mag-grow because of that. The people who actually grow, the high productive people are the people who not only take time, but also make sure that time will be turned into an experience. No? So, yan yung unang-unang gap, yung assumption gap. The number two is the knowledge gap. Ito yung mga tao nagsasabi, I don't know how to grow. No? So, ito yung gap na napaka-importante na dapat aware ka, na may knowledge gap ka. This is the reason that pushed me to be a learner and read books and have coffee with great people. Kasi alam ko may knowledge gap ako. For me to get from point A to point B, meron akong kailangang malaman. And that happens all the time. Every 2 to 3 years, merong mga growth spurt tayo in leadership and personal growth natin na kailangan natin ma-fill in yung knowledge gap na yan. No? Hindi pwedeng sabihin mo, alam ko na yan, tagal ko na dito. No, there's always that knowledge gap. No? So reading books is good. Finding mentors where you want to be and where they are. So yun yung mga itatarget mo mga mentors. Yun yung mga kailangan mong hanapin. Thirdly is the timing gap. It's not the right time to begin. No, yan yung mga sinasabi natin. No? Yan yung timing gap. Hindi pa oras hindi pa oras. Kailan yung oras? Lagi ka nang busy. You'll never get any more not busy. No? The higher you grow in leadership, the more responsibilities you take, today is the best time to start. There's a difference between deciding and doing. Marami po nagde-decide but they don't really do. The longer you wait to do something that you should do now, the greater the odds that you will never actually do it. Diba? Yung mga nagsasabi bukas na, kailan yung bukas na yan? Para lang anytime fitness yan. Anytime ka ng anytime. Hanggang ngayon, hindi mo pa rin nagamit. I'm afraid to make mistakes. Meron tayong fear of making mistakes. Paano na pag magkamali? Now, question, what would you do if you knew you wouldn't fail? I always say this, no? The road to success is littered with failures. The only way you grow is that you fail. There are times you would fail. Hindi sa hinahanap mo failure, pero kasi nagtutrial and error ka eh. Sabi ko nga, walang certainty sa buhay, lalo na sa leadership. So the more you need to take risks. The other growth gaps na binigay ni Maxwell doon sa book niya is the perfection gap. That I have to find the best way to start. Hinahanap mo yung right timing. Sabihin ko na sa inyo, shortcutting ko na to, the best time is now. Next is the inspiration gap. I don't feel like doing it. Now, mahirap talaga pag yung buhay mo and your leadership mo is based on your feelings only. If you don't feel like doing it, you won't do it. Tandaan nyo, the best way to fight this inspiration gap is to actually do it even if you don't feel like doing it. Next is the comparison gap. Others are better than I am. Ay, totoo yan. May mas magaling naman talaga sa'yo. Ay, di hamak na mas maraming magaling kaysa sa akin. But it doesn't stop me from growing. It doesn't stop me from doing the work that matters and the calling that God has for my life. In fact, sila yung ginagawa kong inspiration so that I might become better. Right? Kung may nakikita akong magaling na preacher, kaya si Pastor Steve, galing ni Pastor Steve, pinag-aaralan ko siya. No? He is better than me. Yet, I find inspiration from people who are better than me. Stop comparing yourself. The only person you need to compare yourself to is yourself. No? Yan yung tinatawag nating growth focus. No? And lastly is the expectation gap. I thought it would be easier than this. It will never get easier. Pahirap ng pahirap. No? Lalo na as we live in a very volatile world, a very noisy world, it never gets easier. That's why it's called work. No? Trabaho to. Hindi to madali. Hindi po to free time. It is work time. No? So, ito yung mga growth gaps na kailangan nating ma-address. Tandaan mo, your preparation plus attitude plus opportunity plus the action equals, sabi ni John Maxwell, luck, no? Or sa akin, blessing yan. Mable-bless yung mga tao sa leadership mo. Why? Because you're learning how to prepare, you have the right mental attitude, the right mindset, and then you find the opportunity, and then you take action when the opportunity comes. Yan yung sinasabi ko kanina na yung time ay nagiging experience. So kung pumapasok ka lang at ginagawa mo lang yung kailangan mo gawin, but wala kang preparation, hindi tama attitude mo, hindi mo kinukuha yung mga growth opportunities, which means it would challenge you and your skill set now, and taking action to make that happen, then wala kang growth this year. So you have to transition to intentional growth. These are some good questions to ask. How far can I go? Where do I want to go in life? What direction do you want to go? What's the farthest you can imagine doing? No? Have a vision of that. Sabi nga sa Habakkuk, no? Write the vision plain on tablets so that those who read it may run with it. Sulat mo. No? Sulat mo yan, yung vision mo. Lagay mo yung mission statement mo. Bakit? Para pag nababasa mo, na-inspire ka. Right? So my challenge to you is do it now, not later. Deciding versus doing. Sabi ko nga, don't just decide, do it already. And then you face the fear factor. Huwag kang matakot sa rejection, sa failure, sa ano sasabihin ng iba. Ganyan talaga yan. If you want to create impact, there would actually always have rejections and failures along the way. What fear impacts you the most? Face it head on. Harapin mo. Kasama mo naman si Lord eh. Diba? Anointed ka naman ni Lord. Diba? So, kung kailangan mo mag-quote ng mga Bible verses to inspire you every day, that you can do all things through Christ who gives you strength, that you have the mind of Christ, that God has anointed you to preach the gospel to the poor, to set the captives free, to bind the brokenhearted. Ang dami-daming verse dyan just for you to inspire you and to remind you of the truth that God is with you. So, change from just being accidental to intentional growth. Okay? Ang accidental growth kasi plans to start tomorrow, waits for growth to come, learn only from mistakes, depends on luck, quits early and often, talks big, pero they play it safe naman, victim mentality palagi, relies on talent, and they stop learning along the way. Pag makita mo na walang intentionality, ang accidental growth nangyari lang talaga. Ang intentional growth naman iba. Ang intentional growth, they insist on starting today. Okay, they take responsibility to grow. They often learn before mistake. They rely on hard work. They persevere. They fight for good habits. Ganda basahin yung Atomic Habits, by the way. They follow through. They take risks. They think like a learner. They rely on their character and they never stop growing. Sabi ni Eleanor Roosevelt, one's philosophy is not best expressed in words. It is expressed in the choices we make. You have the choice in your hands today. Sa kamay mo naman yan eh. The ball is in your hands, guys. No, yung growth na gusto mo this year, nasa sayo yan. Gusto mo ba talaga mag-grow this year? Then put the law of intentionality to work. No? Dapat may intent ka talaga. Deciding versus doing. Today is the day you do. Alright? So I hope this inspires you for growth this year. There are things that you have to start doing already because you've decided a long time ago that you're going to grow. Now the ball is in your hands. Do something about it. Thank you so much, guys, for listening to this short video on how you can grow this year. I'll be dishing out more content in the coming weeks on the next few laws of growth based on John Maxwell's book. God bless you guys and see you in the next video.